it anyway.
Okay.
Hello and welcome to Slice of Pie for another edition at the Aspire Tour. I'm here with Hattie and Emily. Thank you guys so much for being here in the Emerald Lounge. Welcome.
Thank
so
you.
glad to have you.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Well, tell me a little bit. We're just kind of asking everybody a little bit. What have you been looking forward to the most, and what have you heard so far that you loved?
I've been looking forward to definitely your talk. I'm really excited for that. I love David Meltzer.
Awesome.
And it was cool. Well, I'll leave that one for you because you like the last person that we listened to. But yeah, I'd say David Meltzer was awesome.
Yeah, David is really, really cool. He's a great, great guy. Very, very approachable as well. He's been in and out here. Hopefully you got a chance to say hi to him. If not, he'll be around for sure.
Yeah, and we're obsessed with Shark Tank. So
yes,
Kevin
nice.
Was so cool.
Kevin O'Leary was surreal. He's so inspiring.
That's awesome. Very cool. So yeah, he was on at 9 a.m. He's probably already out of the building. You know, he flies jet sets around all the time, but very, very cool. Well, as we kind of go through the day, also what I'm asking is kind of just, you're welcome to ask me anything. So I know we've had a few discussions already, but so you're welcome to ask me anything. But what are you looking to gain the most out of today? What do you want to see? I know we talked about the talks and we talked about Kevin O'Leary, but are there any specific things that you're looking in terms of growth, in terms of either personal growth, business growth? What are you looking for from that standpoint?
Yeah, so for me, it's always just, how can I better myself, mind, body, spirit, and also in business. And I think it's interesting how it seems to come down to these basic things, which is a lot of sleep, exercise, meditation.
Yes.
And how can we minimize stress? So that's always good as a reminder.
Yeah.
Even Kevin O'Leary, these amazing people, and yourself. We talked about it earlier. I was asking you some tips about how you recommend people kind of take care of themselves.
Absolutely. And for me, we that's the piece of it, right? So finding your passion, finding what you love, really, and finding that purpose so that you can have a foundation of everything you do, whether it's your family life, whether it's your social life, whether it's your spiritual life, whether it's your business life, whatever it is, if you can found that on a solid purpose, right? Which for me is willing the good of the other.
Yeah.
So, and willing the good of the other is the definition of loving someone. And so if you can found everything you do in business on loving your clients and loving your team, then that makes a huge difference and it changes things. It changes things for everybody because you become more than just a business, right? You become a part of people's lives and people want that. They want that authenticity that we talked about, the silly video from the silly surgeon and all those different things. And I think that piece is so really beautiful when you can do it, when it's done the right way with the right foundation. You can change people's lives, not only in your small group, but everywhere, right?
Yeah.
And they see you and they see what you're doing and what your team is doing. And they say, hey, I can make somebody better. And the cool piece of that is that they never see how you influenced someone to make the world a better place.
Yeah.
But you can take that with you because you did it founded on love, right? We didn't do it founded on money or founded on fame or founded on whatever else.
Right.
You did it founded on love. And when you do that, it doesn't matter whether you get accolades for it or whether you get money for it. It just matters that you're changing the world by being a good person,
Right.
And that's really cool.
Living a fulfilled life. And we did talk about the silly videos, which we love the fact that you do that because it it's just so relatable, and we find that you're a real person, and it's just amazing to see because you have this incredible brain, but then it's brought down to our level, and you inspire us, and I'm sure we inspire other people, and helping others.
You guys inspire me, which is awesome. So, what other questions can I answer for you?
Yeah, we do have a couple questions.
Yes.
Do you want to ask?
So my question for you is, what are some of the worst health habits you see most commonly?
So the worst health habits. So what I would say is I see folks not prioritizing their own health at all, right? They really put everything else before health. And I've been guilty of that in my life as well, right? It becomes so much easier to pick up the fast food, to skip the gym, to skip that moment, to skip the time to meditate or pray or whatever. And I think that people will do that. And so while it's important to will the good of the other and love your neighbor, right? You also got to love yourself. You've got to take care of yourself. And I see that with the lack of exercise, the lack of good nutrition, the lack of good having someone you can talk to, whether it's a coach, whether it's a counselor, somebody that you have, family that you can talk with, because people let that slide because it's easy to let it go. And so I think that's a big challenge that people that I see everywhere. And then ultimately it ends up leading to physical injuries that end up having patients with me, right?
Yeah.
Because then they do decide to go play pickleball and they rupture their Achilles tendon because they haven't worked out in 10 years, you know?
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of those different issues that we see all the time in orthopedics, but I think it all comes down to trying to prioritize each aspect of your life in the way that can really help you to grow.
I have a question. I
Sure.
wonder what your thoughts are on alcohol.
Sure. So for a long time, alcohol, we were even, it was even pitched. Now, interestingly, cigarettes, when they first came out, were pitched as being healthy, right?
Yeah.
That this was healthy, which has obviously been proven wrong. But even for much of my training, having 4 ounces of red wine was supposed to be cardioprotective. It was supposed to protect the heart. It was supposed to be something that was valuable. And really what we found now is that the safe and healthy level of alcohol is 0.
Right.
So I think that there are people who struggle with addiction, and that's a big challenge. Obviously, they need to be with 0 alcohol. I think that if you're trying to focus on health, then limiting that, certainly in moderation or as little as possible, is a very, very good choice. The things that I see a lot in orthopedics is I see people making bad decisions when they're under the influence of alcohol. Whether they're driving under the influence or doing other different things, we get a lot of injuries associated with alcohol. So now, I'm not a person who I love a glass of wine. I'm not afraid to have a drink with anybody, but I certainly know that I want to do that in moderation, and it's not a priority in my life by any means. So I think doing it socially and safely is probably fine, but the real true answer is that the best use of alcohol is no alcohol at all.
Okay. And I wanted to ask you, so what do you see changing in your field of work with the way that technology is going nowadays?
So it's very interesting because we're in kind of a human service industry, right? So you need not only to have the mental capacity to make those decisions, but also the skill set to do the things that need to happen. And so right now, AI and robotics are still, I think, decades away, even though you may be hearing things differently, from being able to do things like replace somebody's knee.
Okay.
Right? And I don't know if they'll ever quite get there, because the hard part right now, we use robots to do knee surgery, to replace somebody's knee. But if I don't map the knee correctly, if I don't line everything up exactly correctly, if I don't move the soft tissues out of the way, well, the saw, when we will cut right through the patellar tendon. It'll cut through anything that's in its way. So, because the robot doesn't know that it's there.
Right.
And so now, is there a world where I see that could potentially happen in the future? I think so, but I think that the people who are going to thrive over the next 2 or 3 decades, 4 decades, 5 decades, are the people who see technology advancements in AI as opportunities, not only to free you from activities that you don't want to do, right? Like you can delegate things to AI, like helping to manage spam emails and all that other crazy stuff, and managing your schedule and things. I think you can do those things, but I think that ultimately there's going to be that desire for that interpersonal growth, that interpersonal connection that is never going to be able to be replaced, because if that replaces it, then what use are we at all?
Right.
So
going back to that real, authentic
right.
piece.
And I think being real and authentic is super important. And so for me, I'm excited about it because I think if you go in with the right mentality and you work to try to change the world for the good, then we can find the good in AI, in technology.
Yeah.
So
That's reassuring.
yes. Well, I want to thank you guys so much for being on Slice of Piefer. This is so awesome. We are going to wrap it up. I'll play some applause for you. The crowd is going wild.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
You are very welcome. And then we got music.